about the candidate, and not just one little, debate and shit.
Not, and I said that the last time you were here, but I guess that's not good enough because now we're back in the same, like, it's the
Because
same
you back
thing
talking about
again.
politics.
Because I
You
did
back
say
talking about
that the
politics.
last time. I said, well, hopefully we could start having conversations about
But it's
the
hard to have
candidates
that
and the
with you,
different
though.
things
It's
going on so
hard,
we all
girl. It's hard. It's hard.
make a decision.
Okay, press play. Though. I want to
No,
see what
it's
he got.
okay. It's not hard. It's
No. With
okay.
you,
Let's go. What with me?
it's hard to talk, this stuff with you because you get
No,
defensive.
it's not. It's too late.
Is it planned or is it?
I think he was spooling.
Okay.
Might need to start it over.
No, it's coming.
Okay. And I agree with Mark's.
Authoritarian societies are already on lockdown. Talking, of course, about China and Russia. They already have social credit. They already regulate what you can do, say, and think. Here, they got to get us on lockdown. Now, you tell me, what are the similarities in these two images? Because people have a short-term memory. I don't. What are the similarities? I had to deal with these trifling Karens, these power-tripping pissants for 2 years. They asked me for my papers. You all know what I'm talking about. Scan the QR code. Show me proof that you've been tested in the last 72 hours. I had to pay $100 every 72 hours for a certified test. I was blessed enough to be able to afford that so that I didn't have to get the you-know-what so that I could enter into various public establishments. Okay? That was phase one. This is a bipartisan plan. That's what you need to understand. This is phase two, the camo mask version. Okay? Only this time it's at the barrel of a gun. Now, this is the thesis. This is the antithesis is going to be. Well, phase two is specifically targeting, in fact, racially in many cases, profiling certain individuals in specific places. This was more broad. This was general. This pertained to everybody, right? Well, phase three pertains to everybody. It's with the camo, with the paramilitary garb at the end of a barrel of a gun, and asking everybody for their papers with a gas mask on. That's the merger of these two things. So let me explain something to you guys today. I know some of you are going to say, you're Canadian, shut the hell up. You don't have any right to talk about what we're talking about down here. Listen.
Okay. So, okay. So Cleo asks, do you feel it's okay for the Proud Boys to be involved with ICE?
How do you feel about that?
Can I ask why you posing that question to me?
Because Enrique just signed
But
up.
can I ask, like, why? Because I do this for Trump.
Enrique, he's the head of the Proud Boys. He just
Who's
signed up.
Enrique?
Oh my God, that's Proud Boys. You know who the Proud Boys are? Do you know the Proud Boys? Huh? If you don't, that's okay.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
you remember when you watched that debate?
No, I don't.
Okay. Do you know Antifa? Do you know Antifa? Huh? Are you aware of who Antifa is? If not, that's okay.
Presidents couldn't be felons. Hey, Kendra. Antifa. I know it's some type of an organization.
Mm-hmm. Anti-fascist.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And Proud Boys are fascists.
The Proud Boys were major participants in the January 6th insurrection.
Mm-hmm. Trump gave them pardons. That's why
Enrique gave them all pardons.
Prison.
And gave them jobs in ICE.
Instead of him being in prison, now he's out, Exactly.
In Canada, we've taken a different approach. In the UK, we've taken a different approach. We started at...
It's my computer, y'all. It's lagging, it's delayed, so it's not me pressing play. I'm trying to pause it, so just don't think I'm doing anything intentional.
Oh no, I see it spooling on this end.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Yeah, they know you.
Yeah.
Exactly, Skate Love.
It's people that are
What is this gentleman's name, Sammy?
his channel is Prepper News. Prepper
Okay.
News.
Okay. Prepper News.
One of those prep guys into the
Mhm.
world. That's why you talking
Yeah.
about Marshall.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Getting ready for
Right, right.
Tuesday,
So
yeah.
some of his stuff can be like, that's why you gotta like chew the meat. Mm. I don't know why it's not playing. Hold on, y'all. Um, New Age Nazi.
The legislative level in terms of this form of systematic coercion and the erosion of civil liberties and freedoms. We have taken the approach of making sure that people know that they can have their bank account seized. We sold off all our gold. They can kill off our pets. They'll send the RCMP out. They'll send a sniper out with an AR-15 that we're no longer able to use because, of course, our firearms are taken away to murder our bird populations if they are deemed to be a pathogenic threat to the population. They will throttle your online access. They will control what kind of media you can see. And of course, if you get out of line, you'll probably get a knock on the door like many people do in the UK. They start at the legislative policy level with their tyranny. You guys go right to the gun, right? And despite how anti-constitutional this all might ultimately be deemed to be, we're going to meet in the middle. Okay, and this is what you need to understand. They need to get the populations on lockdown. The whole purpose of what's going on in Minneapolis is to invoke the Insurrection Act, and not only there, but abroad. They need to get the population in some quasi-state of martial law in order to execute their foreign policy plans, which basically involve going to war with pretty much anybody they decide to go to war with, including the wars that are already festering. Now, you might not think it's a big deal, right? That people might not see the connection here. I absolutely hate both sides. I absolutely despise people who are mentally...
Go ahead, Auntie Mickey, you were saying?
No, I was just agreeing with him. He said he hates both sides. I agree. I don't trust neither side. But when you're talking about the best of, the lesser of two evils.
The lesser of two evils.
Well, we're talking about what's going on now. It ain't time to be
just entrenched in this dichotomy.
Yeah, I think a lot of people.
What's going on now? That'd be deflection for me.
I believe a lot of people voted for Trump for one thing only.
What's happening? The majority of his voters voted for him to turn this country back white and stop it from browning. Okay, that's what the war was about. That's what's going on right now. The other ones was just ill-informed.
Well, that and
what
the
is
fact
the best
that
news
people
for
were looking at the
red hat game? Wanted to be a part of some shit, MAGA, because it's a game.
Well, there's several facets to different, because some want to make America white again, not great again. Because when was America really ever great? To be honest about it, but when you think about the people that want to make America white again, then you've got the Latino, Mexican
These
community.
clowns is asking.
I'm sorry.
So these clowns is asking, what is the best news to watch?
The best news to watch is all of it, as much as you can. Okay,
I would agree. Yeah,
both sides. I don't care
because
which side you want to hear. You want to watch
exactly, baby. None.
You want to hear what the other side is saying, like Fox News.
Yes.
You want to hear what they're saying.
I actually listen to the other side more than I do because I already know what my side is saying. It's
right.
So I keep my own enemy, okay?
And then I would have to say that independent media is the best out there. People like content creators. That's the best news out there because they ain't got no dog in the fight, so to speak. They're not being politically paid off like a lot of the larger news platforms like CBS. CBS has been found to be part of a controversy with regard to their reporting. I don't have the details about it, but I just heard that 30 minutes ago.
Oh.
So there's a lot of money exchanging hands as to how even legacy media is portraying this whole ICE issue. So, if you really want the real truth, just watch some of these people right here on YouTube that's out there on them streets.
Mm-hmm.
And they're showing the real deal out there. And they don't have to make up anything. We can see it playing out right there before us.
That algorithm will get you, boy, if you just, just watching, stand in the echo chamber. That's how people got caught up in that QAnon shit. The algorithm, and you seeing only what you want to see, and it's just going to offer you more of that. So you got to really step outside of that to really know what's going on. Because
that's
if you
true.
Watch right-wing media, I don't give a fuck if it's mainstream, independent, whatever. Mm-hmm. You're not getting the real deal. Period, point blank. They're not telling you the truth of what's going on.
Yeah, and they created a whole holiday after the motherfucker that came through America and did that shit. We got a whole holiday, Christopher Columbus Day. Okay, this whole country is based around hypocrisy and
exactly
been going on for years. Like,
yeah, please. But you don't want to help. You don't
gotta stop. Like, just stop.
The fact that they won't own up to the fact that black slaves built this country for free. Black people,
that White House,
only ones that came to this country against their will. Everybody else came over here. Oh, let me go to America because it's popping over there. Black people from Africa did not come over here. I'm talking about back in slavery days. Those people were kidnapped, sold, and everything to come over here and build this country, including that damn White House, which should be called the Black House because that's who built it.
Over there building that fucking $1 billion ballroom. Bullshit. See that bullshit going on, Auntie Mickey?
Mm-hmm.
I just dropped it, Tremaine. All right, let's get back into it. Let's see what else he's saying. So he's comparing what's going on right now with what we experienced in whenever C-19 happened.
Between left and right. I'm a liberal. I'm a conservative.
He's what?
He didn't believe in COVID.
Wow.
This guy did not. Yeah, he did not believe in COVID. That's why he was talking shit about the mask when he first started talking about the Karens and the mask and them asking him, you know what I mean, about his fucking COVID status and shit like that.
I mean, it was some bullshit.
He's just anti-government.
Well, I would like to ask, how do you explain all those people that died from COVID in the beginning?
They don't care. It was people on their deathbed in denial about COVID. Why them nurses trying to tell them like, yo, you got COVID? They in denial because of
and how they were rounding up many black people, stuffing them down in the basement of the hospitals.
Wasn't nothing crazier than seeing those deniers on Facebook talking about COVID isn't real, and then fast forward and a GoFundMe from their family because their asses and died from COVID.
Boom.
And
Boom.
they make that shit political. They so many lives got lost that didn't have to be because
That's
of
right.
denying that fucking mask shit. They make that shit political.
Did any
Okay,
of y'all get
it
COVID?
was a pastor in Ohio, fucking in denial. His ass died. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? Like,
Many.
yes.
Many did anybody here tonight in this chat ever get COVID? I'm
No.
just curious.
If I think I had it
I did.
before it was,
I didn't. I never got
Wow.
it.
I thought I
I
was
will
And
be.
I
I'm
dying.
gonna keep
worked
it
for
real.
the
I was
health
irresponsible.
department.
I was irresponsible, but I got to
I
be
was
really,
very
really quick.
responsible when it came to that shit.
Sammy. Okay, let's start here. So, Auntie Mickey mentioned CBS. Barry Weiss, uh, operative. She was sent to CBS to basically right wing it out. Same thing happened with CNN. They fired all of the reporters and they put in all of these definitely right leaning people to shoot propaganda. My
Mhm.
family gonna come in and be extra loud and be worse than, but they came in. Barry Weiss is a Jewish lady. She's from Israel. If you notice, they were supposed to put out a story about ICE and how they was
Mhm.
over there essaying the victims. They killed the they did not put out the story, but they released it in Canada. So on some certain websites, you can see that, and it's not okay. Okay.
Mhm.
So therefore, that's that part of the CBS. So the Barry Weiss, if you hear her name, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
When it comes to the Proud Boys, Enrique Tarrio,
Mm-hmm.
who is a black presenting man, he's
Yes.
the founder of the Proud Boys. One of them. The other guy who ran Vice TV, he was the other co-founder. These are people. I had to tell Lil Duval who these people were because these people are so unaware. And I hate that. Okay? That is the worst. And you are supposed to watch both sides, Sammy, and you are in the right wing echo chamber. I want you to come out of that. You need to go to left wing leaning media. You can keep watching your right wing media, but you need to watch both to make a comparison so you will
Even
be fully
Century.
aware
Watch
before you can
Century.
even touch on these topics. Lastly, your vote
Please
very
share your
much.
content. Just share.
No,
You
that's
can
what I'm
send me
saying. Okay,
links.
but I can't share it right
Yes,
now because it's
share.
so much.
Please share
Lastly, your
whatever
vote very
content.
much plays a major part in you covering these topics because you just said a whole bunch of shit, okay? And it's a pipeline to how you voted. So it matters, okay? It matters what you voted. And if you done voted for Trump and this motherfucker's out here talking about he's gonna take over Greenland, Canada, and
Mm.
Mexico, girl, I gotta go,
Mm.
y'all. I love y'all. Y'all need Sammy, please. Just
War with
read,
Canada.
okay? Read. Lord have mercy.
Ah,
People get passionate about politics, honey. This is a hot button topic too with ICE.
And it's a lot of information to consume. It really is. It's really a lot of information. I mean, everybody can't know everything, but I mean, to me, the
exactly.
most important thing to know is one's character. I mean, if someone has very bad character, you can't trust them to run the country.
And
I
that's
don't
going to
care.
shine. Whoever you are is going to shine. You know what I mean? When you're a president,
Absolutely.
okay. So if you're a piece of shit, that's really going to shine through being a piece of shit. Who you are,
Mm,
you know what I mean? You okay, and you see it with his ass. Like you,
yeah. He has no problems voicing his opinions on things and saying some really derogatory, unethical things, especially coming from a president. And to go over and take the president of Venezuela and his wife, even though that dude is a tyrant too. It's just ironic that a tyrant goes and has another tyrant kidnapped, basically because they want that oil and their resources. It wasn't to help the people, it was to help his pockets. Mr. $750 a month in taxes. We paying up the yin yang. Us regular people are paying up the yin yang in taxes. And there was a couple years he only paid $750 in taxes for what, 2 years straight.
That's
It's
because of
just
write-offs. But we could do the same thing though.
how, if you don't have the companies that he had, and the
But
loophole
you could, I
and the
mean,
attorneys. See, we can't afford the things that he has to give him the advice. The man is stupid. He doesn't know anything intelligent.
does that
He
make
has
him
people
stupid though,
working for him.
when it's actually like that? That's a part of our tax laws. Like, you have the right to, if you're a business owner, if you own businesses, you have companies, there you can write off certain things under the tax law.
I understand that, but what about us people that don't have companies?
What about you?
I mean, why is it that this man can get away with all the things that he's done business wise? You see what I'm saying? Business wise, he's a poor businessman. Bankruptcies left and right, not paying employees left and right, just doing the most.
I have to
$650.
I have to disagree when it comes. The whole bankruptcy thing, I think a lot of times people don't understand bankruptcy. I think a lot of people's opinions when it comes to that, it's like, oh, that means you can't pay your bills, you're broke. No, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't. It's all legal. How is that unethical? How
That's
is
a
him
legal way of
writing
getting out of paying
taxes
your
on his companies
obligations.
and businesses?
That's a legal way to get out of paying your obligation. Either way, that's
And
what a
people do
bankruptcy
it
is about.
all the time. And people do it all the. I wouldn't suggest personal bankruptcy on nobody, because yeah, you're gonna screw yourself over for the next 10 years. But shit, that's the law. That's what
Not
it's
if you
there
file
for.
a Chapter 13. Not if you file a Chapter 13. If you file a Chapter 13, you pay back all secured
It's a consolidation. It's a consolidation, not a bankruptcy.
But it's considered a bankruptcy. Chapter 13 is a bankruptcy.
I
It's
understand.
a different form of bankruptcy.
Right.
But either way it goes. My thing is this. I look at the man's character. Point blank, period. I mean, the personal business ethics of his is important as well. But this man is not he's not an ethical man. His ethics, his character is flawed, extremely flawed, and he has no qualms about letting you know. That's the boldness of it all, the entitlement of it all. The man, when he ran the first time, he told everybody, if I go out on the streets of New York and shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue, I will get away with it. Exactly. And everybody said, oh, he's tripping. And guess what? He probably could now. He's gotten away with how many felonies? Convicted felonies. And ain't served not 1 minute in jail. He hasn't even been, has he been fingerprinted? I mean, honestly, the man is a convicted felon, but he's in the White House. And then we've got other people that voted for him because, okay, you yourself, you voted for the economy the economic portion. A lot of Mexicans, Latinos, and other people that are now being beaten by ICE, they voted for him too. They didn't expect all this because they were focused on the economy. But the man's character is down the toilet. He's going straight to hell. He's going straight to hell.
No, it's not an illegal process. It's not illegal to file bankruptcy. Some people just automatically assume, oh, you filed bankruptcy, you're broke, you didn't manage money right, or whatever the case is. But sometimes it can be a benefit depending on the amount of debt that someone accumulates, or, it's a legal way to get out of paying off debt, essentially.
Well, I just think it's a shame that a billionaire or millionaire is able to get away with so much economically and tax-wise that all he has to pay was $750 for the year. That's just a tragedy.
That's what I'm saying. He's a millionaire, billionaire, but he's a bad businessman.
Yeah.
He said himself he's going to hell. Well, if he want to put that on himself, then God bless him. His
He's
own
proud of
mother called him a
himself.
monster.
He's proud of himself. He makes fun of people that he himself is guilty of certain. Just like with Joe Biden falling asleep, he called him Sleepy Joe, and this man can't even keep his eyes open during a press conference. Most of the Republicans in there on the down low, they don't even like the man, but they kiki and cacaing because they want to keep their job. So that lets me know they don't give a damn about this country either. They want to keep their job, keep their party running. You know, the whole system is flawed, to be truthful about it. For this man to even be able to run for president, I mean, and that's just my own personal opinion. I mean, shit, I'd rather vote for a 16-year-old teenager in high school, you know. But this man he's evil. He's evil. This man has a cloud of evil all over him. And when you put someone like that in power, just be prepared to suffer the repercussions. A lot of people voted for him.
What does the ideal candidate look like? What is it?
It don't look like this.
No. But let's not talk about what does the ideal candidate look like? What is it that, so like Cleo said, the new Republican Party is for self. Okay, so how can what do they call the parties that are running? What is it that will make it seem like they're for the people? What is it that we want? Do y'all even know what y'all want from a president?
I can truly say that we will never get what we want, because what we want is so far out of reach based on the system itself. The system itself is flawed. Okay. But what I would like to see as far as the Democratic Party is to grow a set of nuts and stop being so passive. This is why the Republicans run over them so much, because they're too passive. But in the same token, I mean, bottom line is that anything is better than what we have right now. Anything.
I'm not saying, and nobody is perfect. No individual is perfect. I'm just saying, what is it that, so
it's all one's personal perception as to what's important to them. Some people believe that economics is the most important thing.
What I base my vote on.
Correct. You based your vote on the economic side of things. A lot of other people voted based on character of the
black woman. No, because they saw a black woman running for. But for me, I felt like I learned after the first black candidate that didn't do nothing for the black community while he was in office. I think he completely bamboozled us, but nobody's talking about that.
No, I think a lot of black people bamboozled themselves and expected him to do a lot of things because he was black. I don't recall ever hearing him say that he was going to do anything spectacular for the black race. I don't remember him ever saying that. But that's not what you go into this office for. You're supposed to be for the people, not just some people. And right now we have a president in there that is for the rich people. The tax breaks that he's giving people are for billionaires. Those are the only people that are really benefiting from the tax breaks. It's not about a certain group of people that should benefit. Everybody at some point should benefit. But when you've got someone that is heavily leaning against another set of people purposely, that's a problem.
That's any. Yeah, you're gonna be wondering that about a lot of people. I run the streets.
Oh, they
I
all
Run the
lie.
Street says, I want to president. Okay, that's what I'm like.
They all
Yo,
lie. Every
this is
last
funny to me.
politician
It
in
really is.
there.
This is hilarious. I want to. That's why I'm just like, man, I love it. I'll be y'all punching bag.
Well, they all lie, but
I'll take
this
the
is
I'll take
diabolical.
the heat. I listen. I can handle things, but a lot of y'all are like, this shit funny. Now, I want a president that when he is reporting something to the people, I don't have to wonder, is he lying or not? Because most of the time, Trump, they all be lying. Like, please. Oh my God. So I Run the Street wants honesty. Okay. So there goes one answer. Someone wants honesty. Okay. Let's see. What else are the people saying? What else y'all want? We want someone to hold up our values and our rights as citizens, following the rule of law, and also not using our country's resources as their own pickpocket mechanism. Okay. I don't want to see the military used against American citizens in American streets. Okay.
And again, we're in a time that we've never seen in recent history to this degree. We've seen some real ratchet stuff in the past, but according to today's standards, we're supposed to be far. This is history repeats itself, but this is just above and beyond because now it's affecting everybody. White people are being shot in the head.
People wanted illegal immigration stop. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. People wanted illegal immigration stop. They wanted to stop outsourcing of jobs, to bring back jobs and manufacturing back to USA, and didn't want our money. Yes. Right. Right. Thank you, Raptor 8. Those were some of the things that stuck out to me that I thought was important to our country, but hey, I guess I was wrong. Oh, that's a great question, Melanated.
Exactly.
What did the Black community do for themselves? Let's talk about it. What do we do? In the past, presently, what do we do for ourselves?
That's a good question. Anybody got the answer?
Because I personally don't depend on the government to do anything for me. Me. Huh? Go ahead, Auntie Mickey. What you say?
I didn't say anything. That wasn't me. I didn't say nothing.
Oh, okay. Okay. You can't believe what? Yeah, no, I'm reading y'all answers. I'm reading y'all answers. Cause some of it just sounds a little unreal. I mean, historically speaking. No, that's how it no, it's listen, Sammy voted for Trump, that's what it's given. It's okay though. I'm not tripping.
There's so many.
Some of the I think it's funny.
Yeah, there's just so much going on now. I mean,
did I agree with?
People have gotten very comfortable.
I mean, some of the stuff is unrealistic. Saying he stopped wars, that is a joke of a lie, but all politicians lie. That's the name of the game. Yeah, that's what we were saying. I want a president who respects democracy, tells the truth even when it's in. Man, oh my good. All right, it's me. It's me. I feel like some of this is like,
You think pie in the sky?
am I
You think a
tripping?
lot of people are being unreasonable?
And this isn't
I wouldn't say it's unreasonable to
a
want those.
reach.
I wouldn't say it's unreasonable to want these things, but I would. It's fair for people, American citizens, to want these things. It's fair, but unfortunately, we live in a society. We live in a democracy that has been flawed since the day it started. This land was stolen.
Exactly.
This land was stolen. Anything you build on uh what is the word? Anything that you build on sand is gonna fall. I'll just put it like that.
Mm-hmm.
You've gotta build things on solid ground. This country was not built on solid democracy because it was stolen. The people that stole this country from the original, the Native Americans, and many Native Americans were black. They
Mm-hmm.
were black people. This country was stolen from them. The tactics used to steal it, they poisoned these people, killed them. They stole this country. So when you run shit like that and build on that, that's all you're gonna get throughout the rest of history. This is just a
Mm-hmm.
newer version of it. But this fool right here, this fool is the embodiment of evil.
Why, when you are asked a question? Because my vote was simply based around the economy. I didn't research that man. I didn't. It was based around the the political things that he was saying he was gonna do for our country. That's it in that soul. That's it in that soul. Like I and but y'all don't seem to be like accepting that. I'm
I
being
accept that.
called I'm being called ignorant and all this like ignorant comments and like come on, like so y'all are gonna get what you get right now,
I think they saying that because of your response to it, not because you voted for Trump. I think they passed that part as your response to it, and then the defensive part of it. So that's all. And just trying to make sure next time you vote, you have all the information that you need before
no,
turn
it
in that.
just seems like what I'm saying isn't being accepted. It's not being accepted because I guess to y'all, it's not the response that y'all want to hear. That's what it really is. Because I'm responding. I'm trying to be respectful. I answered your question. You asked me if I regret it. I said no, but my responses aren't being accepted. That's what the problem is.
Well,
I'm
Sammy,
I'm being called ignorant and like all this.
okay, can I ask you a question? And I'm not attacking you in any way. So let me get that straight, okay? But when you voted for Trump, were you not
Mhm.
aware of any of his antics from the past? From his first, for instance, from his first presidency, even during when he campaigned, some of the
Yeah,
things that
the first
you,
uh,
the
what happened?
women, and I mean, I'm just asking because it's like it could be perceived that you made a choice. You made a choice
So
on the economic portion without taking under consideration his personal character.
right, that's exactly what I did because here's the thing. The first time he ran, I didn't vote for him. I forgot who ran against him the first time. The second time he ran, I voted for Biden. I mean, no. I'm sorry. Yeah, I voted for Biden. So two times I didn't vote for Trump until this third time because I was like, damn, we need to do something different. That's how I looked at it. The first two times I did not vote for Trump. I'm not an avid Trump supporter.
Oh no, I never thought you were. I never accused
No,
you of
but
being
that's
that.
what it's like. That's I don't know. Maybe because I didn't make that clear. I'm only talking about this last time that he ran. I voted for him. The other two times I did not. The election before that, I voted for Biden. The time he ran and he won, whoever he ran against, I voted for them. I don't remember who it was, but this was my first time voting for Trump. The first time he ran for president, I didn't think he was qualified. I thought he was a reality star. I didn't think he was
Yes.
qualified to run our country. So that was my real thoughts.
So
Initially, his ass when he did the first time, like I would have understood the first.
And then when he did
Sammy,
it,
personally, Sammy, now, and again, I'm not attacking you, but after that first go round, I know you didn't vote for him, but after the first time he was president was enough for me. I mean, look at January 6th. He caused a major insurrection on the Capitol because he got
wanted them to take out his own vice president. His own vice
they wanted to
president was
kill
scared
Mike
at the
Pence.
fucking back. Yes, hang on.
Biden won because he was going against Trump, and that's why Biden won, because the man was insane in his first term. I mean, this man caused a major insurrection on January 6th after the election, after he lost. And he went out there and raised hell.
Myself because it's kind of like people like saying like, oh, well, I'm better than you, or I know more than you because I didn't vote for him. No, that's what it be sounding like. Like I'm just a bad person because of my vote.
No,
but what people aren't understanding is that okay, I mean, people can think what they want. Honestly, this is the internet. So, people are going to formulate all types of opinions, judgments, and criticism. You know what I'm saying? This is just something else on top of it. But, so I'm not tripping over that. But it's just like, like, I said, okay, maybe that wasn't the best decision. Moving forward, we should come together and have discussions instead of it being like, oh, we don't talk politics. It can get no. We should talk them. We should 100% talk politics and discuss who's running, what their campaign is standing on, all of that. Mm-hmm. That's what I believe.
Well, I'm not trying to personally attack you. It's just, it just seems to me that a lot of people that voted for Trump because they weren't happy with Biden had a very short memory on his first term. He was telling people to drink bleach. Come on. He was not playing. He told people to drink bleach to get rid of COVID. And some people did and died. This is the kind of idiot we had in office in his first term. And people have very short-term memory. This guy is not getting younger. He's getting older. And he's getting weirder as time goes on. Him and his big ass ankles. The man is deeply flawed. He's deeply flawed. And now we're paying the price because people basically, they're worried more about their pockets than their freedom. If you have no freedom, your pocket means nothing. If you can't walk down the street without being snatched because you have a certain color skin, you have nothing. You have no freedom to walk these streets and earn a living. Imagine all of the Black people that are being snatched up right now because an ICE agent says, well, where were you born at? What country were you born at? Doesn't matter where I was born. I'm a citizen here now.
They just put over a Black family here in Illinois and shit.
Yeah, they almost killed a 6-month-old baby.
Girl.
This is too much. And they're running rampant. Even the police are reporting on all networks, not just the major networks, even on YouTube and everywhere else, that their tactics are not only barbaric, they're against their own written policies. They're not supposed. The state law in Minnesota.
I'm giving you a different perspective. I'm not defending any. I don't know that man. I don't know him.
I'm not saying that. I don't understand. I'm not saying
Sorry, I
that
was
you.
responding to a comment.
I understand what you're saying. Okay. But this is why people become passionate about this particular situation, because his actions are going to send us into World War III. I got a grandson that's 19 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I would hide him out before I'd let him serve this country under that motherfucker. Excuse my French. I believe it's just a travesty to send troops into countries without cause,
Mm-hmm.
for greed. And are you going to benefit from him taking over Greenland or invading Greenland? I know I'm not.
Mm-mm.
It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. And bottom line is he's out of control. He's drunk on power. He's not an addict in terms of alcohol or uh, illegal substances. He is addicted to power, and it's dangerous. He's a laughing stock amongst other countries. He thinks he's so far up Putin's ass it ain't even funny, and Putin's just laughing at him. But it was Putin that released all that ancient artwork that depicted black people in it, in so much as pictures of Jesus, paintings of Jesus being a black man. You
Mm-hmm.
think Trump is going to release something like that to us? Hell no. He was so down on what's that woman's name? She's Somalian. She's the highest politician in the United States. I can't remember. It starts with a U. Somebody in the chat knows. I'm really bad with names. And
Somebody said I thought Trump only ran twice.
he can only run twice. He can never be president 3 times.
No, he has. Hold on.
He
So
can never have a 3rd term under any
no,
circumstance.
no. We're talking about campaign runs. We're talking about running for office, not actually being in the office. We know he can only have 2 terms, but he has run 3 times.
Yes, and he lost once. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so that's what we're talking about. When
Yeah.
he can only do 2 terms. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he's run 3 times, Miss Jess. I'm just doing commentary on what's going on in our country, and me just doing commentary on what's going on. The response is, well, you voted for him, instead of us talking about what's going on and just like focusing on that and how we can help each other, or just knowing how we need to navigate while all this stuff is going on currently. So, I mean, you know,
In terms of
about.
In what part are you referring to that we need to help each other? Are you talking about the ICE situation? Are you talking about economics? What in particular can we help each other with? Because right now we're so far gone that we really, the only help we can provide for each other is to just, number one, we have to be vigilant and be knowledgeable of what we're fighting for.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
You have to be vigilant and knowledgeable of what you're talking about, and looking out for your neighbor, But again, we can only do so much. It's going to take an act of God for this shit to get fixed. It's going to have to take an act of God, because now they're sending in the National Guard into Minnesota. National Guard just to protect the citizens so they can peacefully protest. And just because somebody is yelling profanity at you does not give you the right to shoot them with tear gas. The ICE is out of control. And now they're sending the National Guard in, or has has sent the National Guard in just to protect the doggone citizens on the streets that are up in arms about what they're doing. Walking up to cars, just snatching people out of their cars. They don't know who they are. Doesn't matter if they got their papers or not. People are carrying papers around because they're afraid of being detained. Because once you get detained, they keep you as long as they feel like. Next thing you know, you ain't got a job because you ain't been at work. You got a stigma on you because you're now looked at as an illegal alien. And many people take that mindset, if they were snatched up, then they must have been illegal. And that's the wrong mindset to take, especially when you've got a liar in office that has an administration lying for him. They get on Fox News all the time and spew just garbage, lies. And we have eyes, we can see.
I completely understand. But what?
I mean, even when it comes down to Renee Good, oh, she hit
and
me.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, and
like, I'm not mad, y'all. I'm just saying.
No.
I'm telling y'all what y'all are giving me, what y'all turn this into. Not. I'm not upset.
Well, if more people understood the depth of the lies that are being told by the authoritarians. I mean, a lot of people want to hear those lies because that's their mindset. See, one thing Trump did do successfully, he gave racist people. Now, I'm just talking about the racists. I'm not talking about everybody else. I'm talking about racist people. He's made racist people very comfortable to exploit and display their racism. We haven't seen racism to this degree since the 60s. He's I mean, we're, you know, I don't know any way to put it any other way.
So are you talking about, are you saying that what he's doing as far as removing immigrants from our country, you're calling that like racism?
No, that's not what I'm saying. If you're illegally here and you've been here for a long period of time and you're just, you have no business being here at this point, your visa's expired and you haven't gotten off your ass to get it renewed or whatever, then yes, you should go back. Obama sent more illegal immigrants back than any other president, but it didn't go down like this. It did not go down like this. They were not bam-a-ramming people's homes when children are present. They're radical. All in the case of, oh, well, we've got to get this country in order. There's been fraud going on in Minnesota. There's fraud all over this damn country. You can't beat everybody. If they're illegal, then yes, send them back, but you ain't got to half kill them and beat him to death. He needs to take the playbook from Obama at least. If I know he don't like the man. He couldn't stand Obama. But Obama got more illegal aliens out of this country than any other president, and you didn't hear none of this shit going down. None of it. People are leaving their countries to get away from this kind of behavior. And they've jumped from the frying pan into the fire. It's sad. We have now become a third world country. That's the sad part about it. Barbaric.
That's how you feel? Hold on. Whoa. So you feel like we are a third world country now?
We are turning into a third world country with regard to the barbaric behavior of ICE. And the people that are out there cheering ICE on, I tell them all the time on my own live, I want to hear that. I want to hear that same energy when they snatch you up or they snatch one of your loved ones up.
I
I want to
don't
hear that
agree.
same shit.
I do not agree with the use of excessive force at all. No, I don't agree with that at all.
Nope.
But
It's not
if
necessary, but when you've got a tyrant that's giving them carte blanche and telling them you have the right to do whatever you feel like doing. I'm gonna back you no matter what you do. Of course, he's a lot of the Proud Boys are ICE people. We saw what the Proud Boys led to the Capitol on January 6th. It's funny he wants to institute this insurrection act. Where was that insurrection act on January 6th when you sent everybody to the Capitol? That was an insurrection. But instead, he pardoned them so they could carry out his dirty work. That's foolishness to me. That's double standards to me.
wait, can you run that back?
Donald Trump and the Proud Boys led an insurrection on the Capitol on January 6th. Trump is now talking about instituting the Insurrection Act on all this stuff going on the streets, you know, with ICE. He wants to institute this Insurrection Act. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't know what all that entails, but I can honestly say if anybody should have passed an Insurrection Act at any time, it should have been January 6th. But no, that benefited him. See, if it benefits him, he's against it.
How did it benefit him?
How did what benefit him? That insurrection?
Yeah, I'm just asking.
Oh, it benefited his ego, for one. He called those people to march to the Capitol. He called them. He knew who was in that crowd. He was familiar with the Proud Boys and other groups similar to them.
Well, we see all the time where people have influence over the minds of people. That's why there are cults and other things where people, you know, follow the orders, or someone can put out an opinion about something or someone, and because they have influence over a crowd of people, those people are going to
they're going to move according to the orders of the leader.
Exactly. And it's not even necessarily orders. It's just that this is me, because yeah, idolization is real, and people idolize people, unfortunately.
So those people idolizing Trump used his
and cues, that's just my opinion, you know.
Took his cues and went to the Capitol and participated in a major insurrection. They shit on the walls and the floors, peed all over people's property, tore up people's offices, barbaric behavior.
I don't agree with it. I think that's it's crazy. I don't agree.
But I'm just saying that people
very much
put that man back in office. They put him back in office.
Now let me say this. Vigilante, a member of now I don't know if this is what she actually was, but looking at what happened, no, I don't agree with the fact that her life was taken. They used excessive force when there was not a threat. I agree with that 100%. I don't agree with her actions that day, where she took it upon herself to get in the way of whatever they had going on.
But how did she really get in the way? She parked her car in the middle of the street. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Cars were able to get around
like blocking
she wasn't
them, because that was how the whole situation started.
No, the whole situation started because her woman, her husband, her wife was talking shit to the ICE agents, and they got butthurt and went after both of them. That
Right.
woman's vehicle was not blocking people. The videos show cars were going around her on
I
both sides
understand
of
that,
her.
but hold on. But she was given direct orders.
Okay, so she was
She
given
was
direct
being
orders to
told to
do what?
get
To
out of the
leave?
car or to move, whatever she was being ordered to do.
When she moved,
Whatever they were
when she,
telling, at one point they were telling her to get out of the car before they fatally unalived her.
he came. Okay, so when I watched the video, they were one agent was telling her to move on, another one was uh uh what was it, telling her to get out. So who are you going to listen to? They can't even get together and decide what the move is supposed to be. The bottom line is that
I'm
she
not
was shot
justifying that.
for driving off, and he was not touched. He was not touched. His phone fell to the ground. There are other angles that clearly show he was nowhere close. And first of all, their policy says do never stand in front of a vehicle, be in front or behind. Now, this fool is filming or recording on his phone and grabbing his gun at the same time, like some Keystone Cop. Umar, thank you. I run the streets. I couldn't remember her name, Umar. But the guy was out of line for even being in front of her vehicle. That woman was shot 4 times. Imagine if he had shot, just one of his bullets just went into someone's home and took them out. There's reasons for safety even in those issues, those particular. This guy reacted. He reacted. She didn't even touch him. He was shooting her because she was trying to run. It is not against the law to run.
It's not against the law to run, but it is. I mean, if you're given orders to do something from law enforcement, I think you should listen. That's my opinion. That's what I think. If I was her, I would have had both of my hands on the wheel so they can see I'm not a threat. I would have put my hands out the window. When they said get out the car, I would have turned my car off and opened the door and got out. I'm not a problem. I'm not a threat. I'm not trying to cause y'all any problems. Like, let me go. But hey, that's just me. But we want to argue that. So, I mean, you know.
I'm not arguing about it. I'm just telling you what the video showed.
We watched it over and over and over again. And we're having a back and forth about that right now. We are.
Sammy, did he hit her? I mean, did she hit him? I'm sorry. Did she hit him? Did you see him hit?
You're talking about.
I'm just asking a question.
On, Auntie Mickey. I'm talking about her ignoring orders that were given to her from law enforcement. That's all. We're not debating if she actually hit him with. I agreed with you that night that the car never touched him.
So which
you didn't see 2 of them running up to a car, pulling on the door, saying, "Get out of the car," before she pulled off. Before she pulled off, you didn't see the officer run to her car and say,
I seen another one tell her
she was still giving orders.
So
when the cops when they came up to the car and started pulling on her door, she should have let it go. They were then telling her to get out of the car. By that point,
well, you know what? Under those particular circumstances, I would have probably took off too. If somebody that was just telling me to move is now trying to open my car door. This is part of the reason people are behaving the way they are, because they are so barbaric in the man called her a fucking bitch. He's referring to her as a fucking lesbian.
Yeah, that wasn't right.
It's bigoted. It's wrong. So
that wasn't right.
Don't you
I
think that their actions are indicative of their mindset?
I'm not denying that, Auntie Mickey. I'm just saying maybe things would have been different if she listened to them. They were telling her to move. That's why the officer walked around her vehicle, recording, getting her license plate. She was being somewhat of a problem for them. She was.
Protesting. Protesting? Is that a problem? Because if they had a target, why were they not focused on their target instead of the
See,
protesting?
that's see.
I'm sorry. I'm just,
No, don't be sorry. I
people
get it,
have
but
a
see,
right.
but that's like moving the goalpost kind of. It's just okay, but there was no protest going on. We saw where the woman pulled up, dropping people off at a house, and then backing up, stopping her vehicle. Yes, cars were able to go around. She was being told to either move, or at one point before the unaliving occurred, she was told to get out of the vehicle. Either way, she didn't listen to either instruction. She didn't start trying to pull off until they all was surrounding her vehicle. At that point, no, I don't agree that she should have been shot in the head, in the face. No, she was not an actual physical threat. It was excessive force.
Well, at least we agree on that. I just think that human instinct kicked in with her and she panicked. That's my own personal opinion. She panicked. I believe she became scared of what they were going to do to her. And that's just my own assumption. That doesn't mean that's true. I'm just saying that's my own assumption. That's how I would look at it if somebody's trying to yank my car door open, especially after what her wife was saying to him. She was the antagonist. The driver was not antagonizing them.
She was like, it's okay. It's okay. Like, whatever. Like, it just escalated so quickly.
And it happened in the morning too. People were saying that she was out there doing all this, that, and the third that day. This happened at 9:30 in the morning. This all went down in the morning, not in the evening or afternoon. So again, I think there's a lot of misinformation out there. I mean, everything at some point in time needs to be taken into context. And I agree that if you're given an order, but under those particular circumstances, you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Human instinct is going to kick in when you feel threatened, just like he claims to have felt threatened. Her only means of getting away was to drive off. She turned her wheels away from him as to not hit him. But I'm just saying, human instinct.
Respectfully, I have to say this. When we first started talking about the topic, it was so many people in the chat arguing the fact that ICE isn't law enforcement. Like, let's start there. So therefore, that told me that people were willing to not respect any orders from them because they felt like, well, they're supposed to be overseeing immigration and immigrants, and we're American. That was the argument when we first started talking about this topic.
That's true.
And I have to say, I think that's what the ladies, and I think that's what her attitude was, that she didn't have to listen to them.
That very well may be the case. That very well may be the case.
That's what people were in this chat arguing. Oh, they're not even law enforcement. I'm like, yo, what are we like?
But you have to understand, some people's context was different than others. When people refer to law enforcement, they're basically referring to what we know as law enforcement, in terms of your regular police officers on the street. And ICE by no means is that. Now, yes, they are law enforcement in terms of federal law or immigration law. But now here's the other kicker. They had Border Patrol out there. Minnesota ain't nowhere near the border. And the laws do stipulate that Border Patrol can go at least 100 miles inward from the border. They were way out of their, I mean, technically you could say that they were out of their jurisdiction to that regard, to have border patrol in there doing something that another division of federal government should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So again, we've got Americans out there protesting that people are out there doing the most because a nutcase has given them permission to do so, even to go out of your jurisdiction.
Mm-hmm.
If you're border patrol, be by the border, or at least the farthest they're allowed to actually go technically is 100 miles out, and Minnesota is way farther than that from the border. These people are going up to people and demanding papers.
Cleo said we have the right to resist arrest. I mean, I don't even know if they were trying to arrest her. Do we know that? We don't know.
Well, it's clear what they're willing to do and what extent of the law they're willing to go or challenge, because they're not really even enforcing their own policies. They're not. Their policies, I mean, even the state law of Minnesota specifically says you cannot shoot at a moving vehicle. So I guess they can just disregard the law of the state as well. That takes precedence. Their goal, you know, they're doing the by any means necessary rule. By any means necessary. If it means breaking the state laws, then we're going to break the state laws. If we break federal law, which they're doing as well, as long as we accomplish the goal. And the sad part about it is that many of these Americans that they're detaining, you can best believe they're going to turn around and sue the shit out of this country. And this country is going to be paying billions of dollars in lawsuits. Judges have already ruled that they are being unconstitutionally violated. The brother that they took out of his home, his wife ran a daycare out of their home. They bam-a-rammed their house, the door down. Clearly a sign on the front door showing that it's a daycare. They had a child in the house. They took him out. He was detained. A judge ruled that his Fourth Amendment rights were violated and ordered his release. That's just one case, but there's so many people there that, I mean, these people are sitting in detainment for days, weeks before they're even released.
Yeah, I've been talking about that, about children being detained and being ripped from their families when they cross the border. I've been talking about that over here, but nobody was over here for that. Nobody has any opinion about that.
I do. Did you see the video of the young man, the 16-year-old young man that was at a Target with his father? And they threw the father down, had their knee on they did a George Floyd on him. They're using illegal chokeholds on people. There has been another death in ICE recently that they performed a chokehold on one of their detainees and it killed him. And this is since Renee Good. People are dying even in detainment. It's not just what's happening on the streets. It's what's happening in these detainment facilities. They are out of control. There's a 16-year-old boy being held down and choked out at a Target. And the father is begging and pleading for them to stop choking his son. He's a minor. He's 16. He's a kid.
See, that's what I'm
He's a
saying.
U.S.
It's like,
citizen.
no matter what I say, that's what I'm saying. But then y'all be like, but nobody's attacking you. Nobody, everything I say, it's like, oh my gosh, like Sammy, stop. What are you like? Come on. I'm giving my perspective. It's my opinion too. I'm just giving a different side of things. Not neither of us are right. Nobody's wrong. I'm just saying a different side of the coin. That's it. Who's to say what y'all are saying are right? Who's to say what I'm saying is right? We're agreeing on the same thing. I just said maybe if she had listened to the orders that were given, maybe she would still be here. That's all I said.
And here's the flip side of that. Maybe since she didn't, he's still guilty of murder. Despite the fact that she didn't listen, he still killed her. And it was out of policy. She did not touch him with that vehicle. She was pointed away. And they have to investigate each and every shot. Each and every shot.
I'm done.
They have to scrutinize. But when you've got when you've got an administration, here's the problem. The administration is the problem. It's the problem. They're giving these people carte blanche to break the law. And that's it. It doesn't matter if you do what you should do or not. There's no excuse for that man to have killed her.
So y'all haven't seen local law enforcement cover their faces with masks? I have.
I honestly, I haven't, but I'm not debating that you haven't.
Especially,
but I will say that they will not investigate because they know that man did. They know that man will go to jail for a very long time if they investigate. That's why they came out and defended him right off the bat.
Yeah, it's part of his policy to remove illegal immigrants from our country. Yes, we know. Yeah, we can argue. I mean, I really don't like to argue opinions. I think that's asinine. Like an opinion is an opinion. An opinion is not fact.
I wasn't arguing an opinion.
Yeah, I'm not arguing opinions either.
I'm just stating the facts as I know it. But listen, sweetheart, I hate to have to go, but I have to go now. But I appreciate you letting me come up on the panel.
I appreciate you coming out.
Okay. So everybody have a wonderful evening and stay safe. Stay safe out there because they all over the place. They up here too. So let's just be prayerful for each other.
That part.
All right, sweetheart. You have a good evening.
You too, Auntie Mickey. Thank you for coming through.
Thank you. Have a good evening, everyone. You too. Bye-bye.
Yes. Bye-bye. All right, let me finish playing this video and see what Prepper News is saying. And yeah, child, this conversation, it gets exhausting because it's like, what essentially like are we? I'm just asking, like, okay, besides making a better decision when we vote, what exactly are we going to do right now? With everything that's going on. That's all I'm saying. Like,
conservative, hey libtard, hey you fascist. I cannot stand it. I absolutely can't stand these maximalist, hardline positions. I know we're moderates here on this channel. I've cultivated a nice audience of moderates. And as preppers, I view myself as an actuarial scientist. I want to know what's happening next. And I have a political bias blinding me to the reality of the situation. I can't accurately predict what's coming next. They habituated us to show our papers here, okay? They're getting us habituated to seeing this shit in the streets and on TV, all right? They're getting us conditioned to be more and more compliant at every single step. And now there's going to be a digital tech dystopian component to all of this, because I'm going to talk today about something that Palantir is introducing in order to help these guys find their targets. But this is going to pertain to everybody on a long enough timeline. And what people need to understand is that this is compliance creep. People get into this idea of thinking, whether you're on the left or the right, there's this thing called the end of history fallacy in psychology. And it's this idea that you think that how things are right now are going to endure. Like, most people have this sense that they're going to live forever, or that this period of time is going to be what extends throughout history, even though everything always changes, right? The tables always turn. In 3 years, the government is not going to relinquish control. They're going to take what has been developed by the previous administration, and they're going to weaponize that against your side next. But people fail to realize this. There's like this recency bias with things. We think that this is how things are going to be, and it's only that group that's being targeted long enough timeline. That's how state-sponsored violence and coercion works. It is indiscriminate on a long enough timeline, okay? So when you see people get stuffed into cars, get hogtied, and understand that a lot of people that are cheering this stuff on, a lot of the influencers, the big accounts, they're either not real people or they're paid to say what they say. They have sponsorships. They get funding from various institutions, organizations to promote certain narratives and create some sense of consensus validity around certain topics, because they know if there are more big influencers type accounts promoting something, people are more likely to acquiesce to those ideas. So there's something called the mere exposure effect. When I see somebody getting stuffed in a car by some paramilitary forces, whether I agree with it or not, what's happening in my brain is I'm getting accustomed to seeing that process. So that when it comes to my neighbor getting scooped up in the future because he didn't pay his taxes, or, he didn't, he had the wrong think or whatever, whatever is deemed to be taboo at the time in the future, then I'm going to be more acclimatized to that, and it's not going to shock me as much. You get accustomed to it. Merely exposing people to stuff makes you more conditioned to it and makes you...
Damn, this sounds familiar. This sounds familiar to me, but we're not going to talk about that.
You more familiar and thus actually like it more. Not like, maybe in this respect, but you're less offended by it. And so when we watch people in Ukraine getting conscripted, getting hauled off the streets, snatched off the streets, I can't help but think about what we seen in Belarus back in 2020 when they were doing this exact same thing. There were guys, they were not in uniforms, they were just wearing face masks, stuffing protesters in vans, and we see it in Ukraine, and now we're seeing it in the United States. People are being profiled without due process, for status review, being detained without probable cause, simply by virtue of how they look, or, because somebody's power tripping. One day, they decided that this is the person they're going to single out. These could be law-abiding American citizens. It doesn't matter. And what I'm trying to tell you, because a lot of people think, the libtards are getting it. And, when COVID was going on, you're like, why can't you just get your vaccine? And why do you need all these guns, right? It always, the table always turns, baby. It's going to turn. And it's only a couple years. It's going to turn. You're going to see the synthesis of those things. You're going to see guys with gas masks in the streets, full auto, asking everybody for their papers. Okay? We're talking about digital ID. We're talking about, this is the health authoritarian aspect. This is the citizenship and identity politics aspect. But they're going to bring about the e-commerce aspect, the economic access, the CBDCs. They're going to bring about the environmental component to this, the checkpoints, the smart meters, the social credit scores, digital fucking ID. That's what it's going to come down to. And at the center of all of this is going to be Palantir AI technology, which is going to be able to effectively predict your next bowel movement. It's going to be able to predict where in your house you are going to sit when you get home. It's going to predict whether you're going to go to the fridge first, whether you're going to sit at the table first, whether you're going to yell at the kids first, whether you're going to tap the wife on the ass first. It's going to know every single thing about you things that you don't even know yourself based on how.
Yeah, because we already telling AI everything about us. We're already doing that now. People are literally using AI like it's their best friend. Like, the shit is crazy. Not realizing that it's going to be used against you.
How you interact with this digital leash that we have right here. But people just don't get it. People just think, oh, it's my team's winning now, and that's how it's going to be forever. No, it ain't. Okay? In Canada, we're working backwards towards that. Yeah, we had the RCMPs come out with the snipers and shoot the exotic, very rare bird species in front of everybody, in front of the world to see for no reason. We had that. We have a more militarized police force here than I would like to see. But by and large, we don't have paramilitary walking around shaking people down for their papers yet. That's coming. Okay, it's just a different form of, you see, the more socialist style leaning, left-leaning democracies, they have to tread a little bit lightly. So they do things at the legislative level. It's not overt military enforcement immediately out the gates. We have a more subtle, soft, bureaucratic form of coercion that gets implemented so you don't notice it, but if you break the law, then yeah, you get the heavy-handed, military treatment. So this is what's called the ratchet effect. Okay, so you know how you turn a ratchet, you turn it one way and you torque down that screw or that bolt, and if you go the other way, nothing happens because it can't go back. It's only one way. Government is only one way. They never relinquish control. The Department of Homeland Security, that overarching umbrella agency that after 9/11, they took control of pretty much everything as it pertained to, like the Coast Guard and all this stuff, ICE and all this stuff. Well, that's the same thing with ICE. And Department of Homeland Security never went anywhere after that. They always endure regardless of what administration it is. And what's happening right now is totally intentional. They want to get people to riot so they can bring about the Insurrection Act, deploy the National Guard, and effectively normalize people to that level of federal deployment. And this is what I don't understand in the States, where I was under the impression that most libertarian constitutionalists.
So I don't know if y'all caught that, but essentially he's saying that us rioting and protesting and raging against the machine could potentially make things worse than us. Worse.
Even conservative and MAGA types were like anti-federal government. I mean, wasn't that the whole part of the whole Civil War thing, was the feds were throwing their weight around? And there was a lot of other things going on, but that's one of the explanations, right? Now, I'm not making a false equivalence here. I know that ultimately this is far more tyrannical than this, but this is more general. This pertains to everybody, right? This is more specific. You combine the two, and that's where things get ugly. That's phase fucking 3. So, wake up, man. Like, I don't know who I'm talking to, because some people, they just don't have the mental capacity to understand. They just think in such pigeonholed, blinkered, parochial ways that it's almost like they cannot relate to the other person's perspective. And I don't know what kind of intelligence this is, but most people simply don't have it. All they hear is liberal, conservative. I'm a liberal. It's this tribalistic mentality that we've not been able to shake for thousands and thousands of years. And then there's the thinking people like us in the middle. We're warning everybody. You're never going to hear me screaming about victimhood. You're never going to be, in fact, I embrace the challenge that austerity and any type of systematic discrimination. Give me more of that. That'll just motivate me to get better and better. That breeds strength. When you have it on an easy street and you can just coast through life, and you don't have to live in a world of any sort of microaggressions or anything like that, then you don't really have to develop. You don't really have to keep those street smarts and survival skills honed. Give me more of that. Give me racist people. That's perfect for me, because that's going to compel me to get better. I'm not going to be like, oh, darn, they're racist. I don't give a fuck. Bring me more of that. But just, keep your distance, because you know what's going to happen, right? But if they want to think that, then that's perfectly fine. That's a sign of low intelligence, right? So, because it's the most deeply entrenched form of tribalistic, nationalistic. I'm not saying that there's not, there's an objectivist. I'm an objectivist, an Ayn Rand style objectivist, not in the might makes right sense, not that far, but in the sense that I understand that there are borders for a reason. Okay. And when people start acting stupid, yeah, they need to be put in line. You can't just, the left is way too tolerant And the right is, in many cases, too quick to try to impose a heavy-handed approach to everything, like a corporal approach to everything. There's midway, right? And this is not fence sitting. This is just being objective about how the world works. So I want to remind people of something. Okay, so I was talking about the Department of Homeland Security and how they never relinquish control. ICE is the same way. They're just going to repurpose that, repackage it, and it's going to be used against the people who propagated it in the first place eventually, when the 3 years elapses, if we have an election, which I don't think we're going to have an election in 2028. I think there's going to be some kind of force majeure, and they're going to go to war, and it's going to be a continuity of agenda. I cannot see us making it to 2028 without a big bang. If I'm being 110% honest, that's what I'm basing my entire prepping strategy around at this point in time, that there will be no elections in 2028. So this bipartisan statism that is creeping up is what they're going to use to get us locked down. The further you can get from the cities, the better. Okay, they're going to be pretty pressed for resources when the shit hits the fan, and so they're going to have they're going to be preoccupied keeping the cities on lockdown. So the further you can get from the city, or just have some kind of place to retreat to, the longer you're going to be able to run. That doesn't mean that you're not going to get a knock on the door, and they're not going to try to expropriate whatever sort of farm equipment you have, or it doesn't mean you're going to be completely in the clear. It just means that you're going to have a little bit more of an opportunity to have some autonomy in that situation. And where they get most of their power at this point in time is this thing right here, this phone. Really, it's going to come down to just throwing away your phone. And this is what they don't want people to do. They're going to start giving people, I have a prediction. They're not only going to start, they can't really mandate that you have a phone per se, but they're going to start giving away phones for free, probably, because it's that valuable. Your data is that valuable to them. The information, not only that you're sharing, but that your phone is collecting about the surrounding environment, that is very, very valuable to them, to train their AI algorithms, to just feed into this brain of Internet of Things sensors that are all interconnected, creating this technosphere that their AIs can understand and interpret at lightning speed and have full spectrum overmatch control over the battle space, which of course is us, our living space. That is the battle space when it comes to state-sponsored violence. So understand that's what's going on. Now, I would also, in addition to getting rid of the phone, be careful what you say on social media, obviously, and don't fall into the trap of, Twitter is now a place for freedom, the last bastion of free speech. No, it isn't. They give you that. It's a safety net. You know how I view influencers and especially, the rage merchants on both sides? There's like nets, there's levels, right? Like first you get your, what is that, Jesse Walters or whatever the hell his name, the Fox News guy. Then maybe you have like your Tucker Carlson, your Alex Jones, you have your, all your conservative pundits, your Benny, whatever the hell, Benny Hill or Johnson or whatever the hell his name is. And you go down the line to Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes, et cetera, right? So they have nets just in case your brain decides to have a thought and jumps out of the net, right? Like a fish that jumps out of the fishing net. You hate when that happens, you catch him and the fucker jumps out. Well, they have extra safety nets all the way down to the bottom, right? To make sure that you never really figure things out on both sides. And so Twitter is just a Trojan horse. Elon Musk is absolutely not your friend. Everything that Elon Musk says the technology for, believe the opposite. Self-driving cars, that's to take away your right to drive, to make sure that they can disable your vehicle at any moment. The whole WEF, they couldn't do it without Elon Musk. They needed a guy like that to sell it to everybody. Oh, Elon believes in free speech. No, they want you there. They want you there running your mouth. Okay, they realized this when they started deplatforming and demonetizing people on YouTube and all of the quote-unquote left-leaning big tech firms. They needed a place to make sure they captured the data of those other people. So they said, Twitter's edgy, right? You can say whatever you want. Grok will whisper sweet nothings in your ear. It doesn't have any filter whatsoever. We believe in truth. Yes, they just want to compartmentalize, okay? So they give you Twitter so you can scream into the void, okay? They want you to feel like you're free to say whatever you want, unknowingly giving up all of your thoughts and your data that will someday likely have you receiving a knock on the door. So this was actually historically precedented. I've made reference to the 100 Flowers campaign. This is a very real thing that happened in China long before we had the internet, long before, well, I guess not right around the time that television was coming in, although I don't think it was a big thing in China at the time in the 50s. But they basically said, the government said, you know what? We want you to freely express yourself. We have a drive of, we want to encourage creativity and free thought and all these things. So we want you to express your deepest, darkest discontent you might have with the government. And that's what thousands and thousands of people did in that 100 Flowers campaign. And then the next year, you know what happened? I think you know where I'm going with this. Well, a lot of people went to jail and a lot of people never seen the light of day again, if you know what I mean. And that's exactly what's going to happen here. Exactly what's going to happen. All of the information that you think that you're really sticking and you're part of the resistance because the world's soon to be trillionaire who flip-flops about every single thing from Epstein to, the AI thing. Oh, AI is going to kill us all. So let's create the biggest AI. If AI is going to kill us all, then it might as well be me, right? The SpaceX thing, it's all about the Golden Dome. SpaceX is for the primary purpose of the weaponization of space. 90% of that is that what it's for. Starlink, it's a weapon. That's all it is. And we've seen that time and time again. The Iranians have found a way to neutralize it. And that's the only reason why they didn't go through with that strike the other day, because there was an intelligence failure. Everything they say, every accusation is an admission. Every single one. Every single one of those technologies is not to empower you as a person. Yeah, it's cool. I love my Tesla. It's freaking fast. Oh boy, you have no idea. The fastest production car in the world, next to a Lamborghini, right? But I know what it's all about. I know where it's going, man. And I know that when you see these people getting, knocking on the door just randomly, they're going house to house now. In America, they're going house to house with guns and just asking people to prove that they're a citizen of the country in a huge disproportionate amount in the city that they're currently targeting. 3,000 ICE members in Minnesota right now, in a population of 500,000, where there's estimated in that state, in that entire state of Minnesota, there's estimated to be around 130,000 undocumented immigrants. In the entire country, there's about 15 million, okay? In Texas, there's around 2 million. In California, there's around the same. And so ICE is disproportionately targeting that specific community. It's politically motivated. And the reason why is because they know, because of the George Floyd history there, that's where they can likely start a big riot, which will spread throughout the world. They want people to get shot. Okay. They want people to resist because they need a big riot, just like they did in 2020.
Yeah.
And you might not think that that has any impact on you mentally to see your neighbors. You might want your neighbors to get raided, but there's that old saying, you look into the abyss long enough and it looks back at you. And that's what this is about. This is priming you, conditioning you to seeing evil shit. And so then when it happens, you're just numb to it. It's going to happen to your child. You're just going to be like, it's not going to be as shocking because you're going to have seen it on TV. I've had my bank accounts frozen up, big tech bank accounts, not my actual bank accounts, but I've been debanked in a tech sense. Around 2020, when I started getting a little lippy about all this stuff, I had everybody come at me all at once. Shopify, YouTube, Google, PayPal froze my account with tens of thousands of dollars in it at the time. Okay. And it took 6 months to get the money back. And so this cage rattling just showed me, because it was coordinated. It absolutely was coordinated at the time. They wanted to put me on notice. It was almost like I got put on some kind of blacklist or something. And everybody, the GoDaddy and just, all of the big tech firms that I was associated with at that time, they all were either sending me messages. They were saying, they were putting things on hold. They were disallowing me to make updates to modify my website. I had to speak with somebody, and YouTube was sending me messages. It was just really, really weird. So I know how that feels. And if you've never experienced that, then you might just think that this whole thing is an enigma at this point, but eventually it will become tangible when they do it to you. And the people in the truckers' protests here, they know what I'm talking about because they experienced it firsthand. Now, that was with the Emergency War Powers Act. Eventually, they're just going to do it regardless, and they won't even really need to because they'll have the whole CBDC thing. So Palantir is working on a tool for immigration and customs enforcement that populates a map with potential deportation targets, all right? It brings up a dossier on each person and provides a confidence score on the person's current address. Now, people are saying this is great for immigration. Well, what about a confidence score, a propensity for violence? or a propensity for speaking out against the government. You know, maybe they deem that you have a certain predilection for something which might predict that you might wind up in some part of town or another, right? So what I mean is that they can use this technology to track anybody. Right now, it's being trained for the purpose of confirming citizenship, but it could be anything. Okay. Now, Elite is what it's called, helps ICE choose where to concentrate enforcement by showing clusters of people ICE is interested in locating. Now, the obvious concern here is that there's a shitload of false positives, there's a lot of due process, and there's a lot of headache, especially when you have these guys running around at random, targeting the same people multiple times a day in different parts of the city. Well, that kind of gets taxing. It only takes one time. You could be compliant, you could agree with ICE, you could, understand what they're trying to do in every respect, and you could be perfectly okay with the manner and the methods that you're using. But let's say they ask you for your papers for the third time that day, and maybe you just got off the phone, you had an argument with the wife or something, and you're a little bit defensive, and they say, why do you have an attitude? And then things escalate, and all of a sudden it's an obstruction charge, right? And you get on their bad side, and because now they've basically been granted immunity to do whatever they want without any sort of legal recourse, well, if you get somebody who is also having a bad day on the other end of that, they're going to exploit that to its ultimate conclusion, which is going to be you getting hauled into the back of a car for no reason. You just wanted to go to work, abide by the law, pay taxes, be a good citizen, but you can't do that, right? And so this is getting us trained, because when the big war happens, when the war with Eurasia, or whatever Orwell called it, Oceania, when that kicks off, they need to have total compliance here. And because we lack the civil defense culture and mindset and infrastructure that was pervasive during the Cold War, we need to rapidly recreate that. And they're moving really fast. They're moving way, way too fast with all of this for this to be for the other side and get more votes. This is the wrong way to do it, because even many libertarians, I mean, when you hear Joe Rogan, Tucker Carlson, some of these big names criticizing these heavy-handed tactics, then you know you're losing support. They've already lost a lot of support with the whole Epstein obfuscation. So I just think they're moving really fast. They know shit's going to hit the fan. And yeah, that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. So we, as thinking people, we just gotta be very careful with our digital hygiene. We gotta be very concerned about what we say on here. I've already screwed myself, but for you guys, I would strongly encourage you to be very careful. There's another story. I'm going to do a World War III update today, but this is interesting. So veterans age 65 told to prepare for war. The Telegraph. Can you believe that? Can you believe this headline? What the hell's a 65-year-old going to do in a war? They're not going to fly a drone. You ever see a boomer try to work a remote control? They ain't flying no drones. They're going to be drone fodder, decoys, so that the guys can move the MRAPs while you go and get chased by the drone flying around in the sky. That's about it. And of course, COVID didn't quite kill as many boomers as they wanted, and they don't want to have to pay all those pensions. So that's why they want to make sure that they get all of us. Nobody's immune. People might be thinking, I'm past 40. I don't have to worry about getting conscripted. Nope. If anything, now, because technology is a great equalizer, they're probably going to just send the old people and preserve the young, which, I would be okay with if there was a big war. I would not want the young to die. I think, people had lived their life. If there was no physical difference, if there was less physicality that was involved in fighting war in the future, then yeah, you'd probably want to get rid of your old before you're young. I mean, it's just the same draconian bullshit. You've paid into the system your whole life. Well, they don't want to give it back. And there's going to be a pension bomb debt bubble bursting in the future, right? Because it's simply where our population pyramid isn't a pyramid anymore. It's like this. This is young people on the bottom and old people at the top. We're an aging population. Who's going to pay all the bills? Elon Musk's robots? I don't think so. They're going to have to get rid of us somehow. So they got to have a big war. And that's pretty much a foregone conclusion at this point. Foregone conclusion. It's done. It's done deal. 4/20/30. It's going to be a massive cull of the herd. So get ready. Get ready. Do everything you can right now. Be the best person you can possibly be. Physically, mentally, spiritually, if you're about that, financially, get all your ducks in a row. Work 16-hour days. I'm serious. Work 16-hour days. Do not waste the extra 8 hours that you have stuff in your face, watching Netflix, playing video games. This is not the time to do that. This is the time to milk every single thing you can out of this system before it goes fully automated and descends into chaos shortly thereafter. Get it while you can. Work 2 jobs, 3 jobs. Never mind this work-life balance bullshit. No, not right now. The 100-to-1 rule, it's going to be 100 times harder to get what you can get right now while the lights are on. Remember that. It's going to be way harder. Life without electricity, I mean, you're going to be wishing you could work 16-hour days and you could come home at the end and have a little hour to your time and sit back on the couch in a nice, warm, climate-controlled place where the lights were on and it was cozy. You're going to wish you had that opportunity to work 16-hour days. 100-to-1 rule. It's going to be 100 times harder. You're going to have to walk down to the river if you don't have a way to get water, if you don't have rain catchment, if you don't have a well. You're going to be walking to get your water every single day, especially in the city. You think they're going to be able to have the electricity to pump that water up to your high-rise building? Nope. It's not going to happen. So this is why you got to prepare for lights out, man. Yep, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be very, very ugly. And they're planning it. They're getting everything in motion right now. They're putting all the pieces on the chessboard. It's so obvious. They know the bubble has to burst, number one, financially. They know geopolitically tensions are at all-time highs, right? The cities are decomposing day after day. I mean, it just entropy. There's not enough energy to keep this dying, decrepit system that we've developed here in the West together anymore on the cheap. They're putting it all into AI for some reason to create artificial general. Who knows if that is just going to be a wasted gambit, because we think we're going to create super intelligence. Maybe we won't. Maybe LLMs have reached their limit. Maybe, the curve, it's an S curve now at this point. I don't know what else to say. Don't know what else to say. I've said a lot. This video, hope I gave you something to think about. Thanks for watching.
Definitely something to think about. But all right, we're done. I want to thank everybody for coming out and for joining me. Shout out to all of the panel guests, Rich Lomax, Candy, IO. Yeah, we had actually talked about that. That was one of the places where I had got, heard that information. I mean, that's what he believes. But yeah, I'm here for keeping the conversation going. Thank you, Melanated. It did get a little, escalated. But I don't know, y'all. But we definitely living in some times right now, and I think we should be thinking about, the future and how we're going to navigate through what's going on. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much for coming out. And yes, I appreciate you guys. Yes, thank you, April. I agree 100% with your comment. Put your faith in God, in Jesus Christ. But again, that for some people, they want to debate that as well. But I agree 100%. Thank you for that comment. All right, y'all. We're going to close it out. Have a great night. God bless you guys. And let's keep each other in prayer. All right, y'all. God bless.
Sammy on the screen, got the sauce, got the glow. Plate stack high, every bite's a show. Slurping noodles, spilling tea, where the convo flow. Mukbang queen, taking it beyond what you know. Big bites, big vibes, forking a knife. From the table to the couch, she gon' bring it to life. Reactions hitting heavy as she keep it precise. Beyond TV, where the taste meets advice. Bites and beyond, where the flavor stays strong. Pull up a chair, we've been vibing all along. Sammy got the moves and the vibe ain't wrong. Bites and beyond, it's the channel you belong. Crunch heard loud. loud, mic hot like the fry pan. Every chew got a rhythm, she the meal plan. Sit down chats, real talk, no sly scam. Screen lit bright, Sammy cooking up a grand slam. Reactions with the flair, watch her break it down. Food or fill, she gon' wear the crown. From ramen to steak, ain't no lane she ain't found. Beyond every bite, Sammy holds it down. What's next on the plate? What's next on the feed? Sammy serving heat, yeah, that's all you need. Keep it locked, keep it fresh, she the you to breathe. Bites and beyond, where the flavor stays strong. Pull up a chair, we've been vibing all